Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. Again, welcome to the webinar, and thank you for your interest in Microsoft Dynamics CRM and in SYNACT. Happy Friday. I don't know about everybody else, but the week certainly went quickly for me. SYNACT supports organizations in the implementation and long-term support of CRM. It's all we do. We are focused on making sure that our customers can really benefit from all of the features that a CRM offers. We're headquartered here in Western New York in the Rochester area, but we do serve customers throughout the country in many industries. My name is Sarah Compter, and I am the president and owner of SYNACT. And I'm located here in the Rochester area as well. We offer a two-pronged value proposition that makes us unique in this industry. One is that we take a business process approach to design, to support. We try to build long-term relationships with our clients so that you don't have to focus on all of the features and benefits of CRM. We take care of that for you, and we bring those best practices to the table. Secondarily, we do offer an all-inclusive service and support model. Very often, consultants who are in our line of business charge by the hour. And while we certainly offer that methodology, we really prefer to engage in long-term relationships where you have a subscription both to the software itself and also to the service and support model. Today, we want to provide a high-level overview of the application's user interface and the primary tool set for navigating, showing you a little bit about of the capabilities of the platform, trying to point out where there are opportunities for customization in your unique business environment, and talk through where you might find benefit in automating key business processes or capturing customized data. Today's demo will be recorded and distributed to all participants. Certainly you can feel free to share those with your colleagues. And we're going to try and do these webinars relatively often going forward. So if you think someone else might be interested in joining a demo in the future, certainly reach out to us and let us know. And of course, we're always happy to provide a personalized demo, a consultation with our team. So feel free to get in touch. Just a housekeeping note. As I'm sure everybody's aware, we are in lecture mode, which means you can't ask a question, and we won't have to worry about feedback from individual phones and computers. If you have a question or a comment or you'd like to touch on something, utilize the chat window in your free conference call toolbar. It's the little bubble that looks like a chat in a cartoon. Certainly send me a message, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. Again, for any late joiners, my name is Sarah Compter. I'm the president and owner at SYNACT, and we're going to go ahead and start the demo of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. One of the most important things to note about Microsoft Dynamics is the various ways in which you can access the platform. Certainly, just like many CRMs that you've heard about, we have the ability to use a URL so that you can access CRM anywhere you have an internet connection. We are browser agnostic, so if your preferred browser is Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer or Safari, certainly you can use any one of those browsers to access the system. You do log in with a secure username and password. Each individual user has one of those passwords, okay? And security to the system is controlled through that unique user account. So we can actually control security at the form level, at the field level. We can be very specific in who can see and do what in the platform. So as you can see, I just logged in here to Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and this is the browser version, the web version of CRM. We also, because it is a Microsoft product, we also have the ability to access CRM right inside of Microsoft Outlook. Okay? Many applications do offer synchronization with Outlook, but Microsoft Dynamics is unique in that you can actually access it from within this very familiar, intuitive platform. On your left-hand pane, you always have your folders, your inbox, your sent items, and what have you. And if you're using CRM, you'll scroll down and notice that there is another series of folders here. So I can jump in and get to the same application through Outlook directly. Now this is a huge benefit for user adoption. For all those folks who are using Outlook already to manage CRM or to manage their email and their calendars, now we have for lack of a better term, a fancy version of Outlook that your users can adopt. Okay? So depending on what you're trying to get to, you certainly have access to it right here in Outlook. There's also some pretty unique integrations, one of which, and this is probably the most popular, is an ability to track an email in CRM. Okay? So you'll see that some of my emails here have a little blue and green icon. And that just indicates that it's linked to a record in CRM. CRM is smart enough to identify the email address and link it right to that contact, but it also allows you to be more specific if you want to link it to an opportunity or customer service case or something along those lines. Okay? So once you've linked it to CRM, you are free to delete that email from your inbox because it will always rest in CRM and be stored in CRM. Okay? The same goes for appointments. So oftentimes we want to track our activities in CRM so that we know who we visited and when. And what you're going to find is on your calendar, just like the emails, there's an option where you can track an appointment to a particular account, contact, opportunity, or case, or any other record you may want to track it to. Contact records are also synchronized. You'll see that I can store personal contact records. Those are these with the little business card on the left. And if I want to track them in CRM, you'll see that the icon changes, and I know that this is a CRM-related or business-related contact. And then finally, tasks. If you're using task management in Outlook, that integrates very well with CRM. All of your tasks related to accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities are all available here in Outlook. That means that in addition to appearing here in your full version of Outlook, these emails, appointments, tasks also will show up on your smartphones if they're integrated with your email, your Outlook application. Most of today's demo we're actually going to spend in the web version, but again, just to point out, you've got these toolbars up here where you can access the full version of CRM right here through Outlook, increasing user adoption typically. So here you'll notice that we entered CRM on a dashboard, and a dashboard is just a series of charts and graphs and lists that are valuable to your users based on their functional area. So if I'm interested in sales, I might have graphs that show my pipeline and the sales leaderboard and the leads that are qualified. If I have a customer service manager or a customer service representative, I might be more interested in a group of charts and graphs that show me how I'm doing from a case perspective. How fast am I resolving issues? What are my critical issues right now? Which customers have the most support requirements at this point. These dashboards, as you can see, there's a laundry list here. These dashboards can be customized, as I said, to functional area or down to the user, so they can truly be personalized. If you're interested in seeing more detail, you can actually drill down into these records as well. So I can make this a little bit bigger and see it in more detail, or I can drill down and see what makes up that chart or graph. Just another way of navigating through this system. Okay? More generally, your navigation is primarily up here towards the top. You'll see this dark blue navigation pane. And as I click through some of the options, you'll see tiles pop up. These are your major functional areas. Certainly marketing, sales, service, those are the core functionalities in CRM, but many of our customers have custom tiles and custom functional areas that they want to that they get to, whether it be project management or engineering, or maybe there's a billable hours section, something along those lines. So these are just, again, your major functional areas. And as you drill down, say I'm interested in looking at some sales detail, now I've got links to leads, opportunities, quotes, orders, and invoices, products if that's your line of business. So everything, your specific record types are all available to you in each of these tiles. And you'll see that the menu actually shifts, making it really easy to find what you're looking for. Some of the items will actually be repeated as well. Leads, as an example, is going to be available in sales, but also in marketing. Okay, so you may need multiple layers of access there. You can also take a quick look at any recently viewed records. There are certainly, most of us in a given time frame are tackling certain customers, certain issues, things like that. This makes it really easy to jump to a specific view or specific record from the last few days. I have a quick create option here on the toolbar as well. Maybe I want to quickly create an activity or a new record type. This is just a quick, easy way to do that as opposed to having to navigate to that record type. And then finally here on the toolbar, you'll see our quick search. And one of the really nice things about this is that if I search for, let's say, an account record, okay, I'm actually going to see, and I just use DEF as the search term. CRM is smart enough to actually create a list of all of those areas where DEF appears. If I get more specific and I put DEF company, you can see that my options are reduced down. But it's searching the entire database. So here I'm seeing a list of account, contacts, cases, and opportunities related to this particular account. So again, fast and easy way of getting to what you need to get to. I'm going to jump here into the marketing area and talk through a couple of components. We have marketing lists in CRM. These are basically queries of or slices of data. Okay, so you want to maintain different lists of different accounts, different leads, folks that you want to reach out to in a variety of capacities. Okay, these can be either static lists. In other words, they're a moment in time. These people show up on this list from this date, or they can be dynamic, which means that you can actually build a query and folks get added to the marketing list as they're added or removed from the database, so that you always have the latest and greatest slice of the data. So here you can see Buffalo area accounts. Well, that particular marketing list is going to be updated automatically as new leads or contacts are added to the Buffalo city. You can also track campaigns. Okay? These are all of the details regarding any kind of marketing campaign, whether that's an event or an email blast or some kind of direct mail piece. Okay? You can track all of the activities related to creating that campaign, launching that campaign. You can track the status of that campaign, all of the lists of people that are associated with the campaign. And then this is probably the most exciting part. You can track the financials. So, very often one of the things we hear in the sales and marketing world is that we pour resources into sales and marketing. We spend lots of money to go to trade shows or to pay for ads, and it's hard to know what the ROI is on each of those. By tracking the financials here on the campaign, how much did we spend on this particular event or advertising venture or what have you, then when we tie leads and subsequent opportunities and then new customers to this campaign record, we really start to see an ROI calculation emerge. Okay? So again, it's really tying the whole sales process together. I mentioned leads a little earlier. Leads are unqualified prospects in CRM. Okay, just going to do a quick search here, find the lead I'm looking for. And certainly all of these fields of information are entirely customizable. So, in my business, I'm going to certainly track different information than a manufacturing firm is going to track, and they're going to track different information, from a different kind of service provider, a bank, or an accounting firm. Everybody has different elements that are important to their business. So everything you see here is customizable. Obviously your basics like contact information and addresses and what have you. Here in the middle, you're going to see this on many records, is a list of all of your activities. Okay? The gray activities have been completed already, and the white activities have yet to be completed. Okay? So this is where I'm managing my correspondence with leads, whether it be emails or phone calls. I'm managing my meetings. And you can tell what type of activity is by this icon: phone call, appointment or calendar item, task. You also have the ability to add a note. This is date and time stamped. So when I click Done here, it's going to record when I added that note, who I was. And you can also add attachments. So let's say you sent Jane a marketing slick about what you do. Well, you can quickly and easily browse to that file, add it here so that you know exactly what you sent to her. If I scroll down a little bit more, again, these are a series of custom fields. This qualification criteria section is often something our customers want to take advantage. It's basically a scoring system so that you know what your A, B, and C leads really are. We often use language around ratings: hot, cold, warm, A, B, C, level 1, level 2, gold, platinum, silver. And it's hard sometimes to know what those are, how those are actually defined. This is a series of questions about your business that changes the score based on a series of weighted points or scales. So if I change this to greater than 6 months, you're going to see that figure change. If I go to more than 10 users, you'll see that figure change. Again, these are customized for your business, but it's a way for everyone to be on the same page. Okay? One of the things you'll see up here is this business process flow. Okay? As I move through the business process, okay, I can actually have different fields of information required at each stage. And ultimately, when I qualify this lead, it becomes an opportunity. Okay? Or I can disqualify the lead for a variety of reasons, all of which are customizable. Once you qualify a lead or you sell a service or a product, of course, your lead becomes an account. An account in CRM is a business entity. Okay, so it could be a customer, it could be a vendor, it could be a referral source. So we're going to record slightly different information once we know more about that relationship. Okay, so here on the account form, and again, you'll see it's laid out very similarly, and this is all customizable with your fields, your order of important connections and different data elements. But we'll see all of that information transfer over. We can have as many contacts as we want. We can set a primary contact. Okay? And all these blue links show that this is a relational database. So if I drill down into any one of these blue links, it's going to take me to that particular contact record. Okay? But the account is really our 360-degree view of the client. Or if you're in a retail business, the contact record is that 360-degree view. Okay? The important part is that we have this centralized area where we can get to everything we need to see about this particular customer or referral source or partner. So if you come up here to the toolbar, I can see all of the related record types. Do I want to see a list of contacts? Maybe I want to see what open opportunities I have with this particular account. Okay? And then I can drill down into that. Perhaps I want to see what my list of open cases are, or I want to see my resolved cases. Okay? You know, this ultimately makes it very quick and easy for anyone to see what's going on in this relationship. Okay? If in your line of business, once it becomes a customer, you want to manage a project or track orders or approve certain applications, things along those lines, those are all custom applications in CRM that we build for our customers as part of the overall all-inclusive relationship. Just have a question here. Is there a limit to how many fields can be added? No. You can have as many fields of information as you want, or as few as you want. Some organizations like to keep it very, very simple, especially in the beginning. But as you grow in your understanding of CRM and as we grow to understand your business, we can add as many different fields as we want. And you'll also notice that there's a lot of different field types. So we've got drop-down menus. We've got URL fields. Phone fields, which if you're using Skype or some other kind of integrated phone system in your computer, you can actually dial right from CRM. You'll see we've got checkboxes and number fields and currency fields. So lots of flexibility in what we offer here from a field, a custom field perspective. Again, just a reminder, if you have a question or a comment, please just send me a chat and I'll do my best to answer that. Just going to jump into opportunities real quick. Opportunities this is your sales pipeline, right? So if I want to take a look at, what's happening in my organization from a sales effort perspective, this is truly what gives you your forecasting, right? An opportunity, in my mind, really depends on having an established need, an established value, and an established timeline. And that's what really creates your sales pipeline, okay? Got another question here. Okay. Actually, just someone letting me know they couldn't make it. Again, you'll see me moving through these views. And these are all just different slices of the data. So I'm on the open opportunities view. Perhaps I want to see closed opportunities. Okay, this is based on status. So if I close those opportunities, I want to see a list of maybe history. Or if I want to see, by a particular member of my team or something in this fiscal year, all available to me. Again, these are totally customizable views. Some can be made available to everybody using the system, or we can personalize views. Okay? That's actually just a use of our advanced find query tool, which I'll show you real quickly here. This is a really handy mechanism in CRM. It's sort of our first level of reporting. So here we're looking at opportunities where status equals 1 or status equals lost. Let's say I wanted to look for accounts located in a particular area. So I might say account city equals Rochester, and I'll see those results. Okay? Or I want to add another data element. Maybe I want to see only my referral sources and partners in Rochester. Now you'll see a different slice of the data. Okay, so I can edit my columns and create a specialized view that can then be saved and shared for future use. And those actually end up in these lists. Okay, those views can be exported to Excel for manipulation and shared with non-CRM users. We've touched on the sales process a bit. There's also quite a bit of customer service capabilities here in CRM, and in that scenario, I would jump to service. I can show you, cases. There's the availability to, again, customize this to meet your needs. Maybe you get phone calls on a regular basis. Maybe your customer service cases come in different ways. I have one customer who tracks only feedback from their customers, so their sort of delights or complaints related to what's going on in their business. You can see there's a variety of fields here that you'll fill out. These red asterisks, just like you're accustomed to in most web tools, are indicative of a required field. I can track all of my activities, and then of course things like priority and days in process. Okay, so again, just a way to track those relationships with our clients. I also have customers who manage projects in CRM, track billable time, again, submit and route approvals, lots of different internal and external tool sets here. Finally, I just want to jump into our activity view. Activity management in CRM is often that thing that makes salespeople fear the tool. They think Big Brother is watching. They think it's micromanaging. The way we look at it and the way we train our users is that it's a tool set for them to use. So here is a list of my activities. These are all of the things that I have to do. And I can use this to manage my day-to-day. It's very quick and easy to see. You can see there's some things that are overdue in here, so clearly I'm not the best at managing my activities all the time, just like everybody else. But ultimately, sorted by due date, and I can drill in and figure out what it is I have to do today. These are tasks, they're phone calls, they're emails, different types of follow-up. This is a great tool, regardless of your role in the organization, of managing what's happening day to day. If you are a manager, you can also use a variety of views to see how your team is doing. Maybe you want to see my team members' activities, right? I don't happen to have anything open in there. Or you want to see just phone calls, right? What are the phone calls that were, completed this week, okay? So lots of drill down capabilities, lots of ways to slice and dice the data, okay? That's really given you well, I always say it's a drink from a fire hose, right? There's a lot of information in here, but ultimately our goal was to keep this relatively short, relatively sweet, and just give you a taste of it, give you a sense for how things are laid out here in CRM, give you a sense for some of the capabilities. Again, I want to emphasize that Dynamics CRM is customizable. So if you don't need to use customer service cases, we hide those or take those away. If you have a specific record type that you want to create, maybe it's a work order or, again, a project of some kind, those are all an approval. Those are certainly capabilities as well. So it's a really, really flexible framework and ultimately pretty simple to use and learn, especially when you do have this Outlook integration here. Okay? So lots to think about. The only other thing I would mention before I open it up for questions is that we do also have tablet and mobile apps. So, certainly if you've got people who are on the road, people who are working from home, you can access CRM and decide what's accessible in the mobile app, in your unique organization. So you just always have access to this important info. So that takes us up through our half an hour, which I promised to stay within. If there are any questions, I'm happy to hang on the line for a little while. Certainly feel free to join. And you can just use that chat window. Question here: how long does customization usually take? That's a great question from an implementation perspective. Ultimately the process is such that we sit down and define all of your requirements and design the platform together with your key stakeholders. And depending on the size of your organization and how many people that includes, the actual time might be a couple of days or even a couple of weeks that we take to map out all of those details. And then once we've got that, it typically doesn't take more than a few weeks to get you up and running. So our team goes home and goes back to the office and we customize your system to meet your needs, and then we do some testing with you, and we share it with you, and we tweak as necessary. But one thing I really want to point out is that CRM is evolutionary. So while you think you may know exactly what you need today, as your business grows, as your business changes, there are things you're going to want to tweak. And so we're constantly kind of coming back to the system and making changes as you need them. Not to mention the fact that CRM itself changes, right? So the CRM of today, Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2016, which is our current version, looks really different than it looked in 2011. right? And so we want to make sure we're always taking advantage of the latest and greatest so that you have all of the capabilities at your fingertips. Other questions? Can Dynamics be used to manage parts, inventory, and or vendors? Absolutely. So again, you may use we may develop a custom entity to manage your parts. Those could be your internal parts. Those could be your customers' parts that you perform some kind of service on. Inventory, we can manage what inventory you have in stock, and we can decrement that inventory as you sell things, as things come off the shop floor or off the warehouse floor. And then, of course, vendors. Yeah, those supplier relationships, I would often recommend using the account as a way to manage the relationship. But then, of course, you may want to track what you buy from those particular suppliers or that particular vendor, and so you can do that as well. One more question. Can I hide certain data based on level or position? Absolutely. The security functionality here in CRM is really very specific. So when we look at a form, let me just pull up an account here as an example. I can control whether a user can see this account at all. I can control whether this user can maybe read the account but not change anything, and I can do that down to the field level. So we have a lot of capacity for restrictions. We can create business units and teams. Certainly, you may not want your salespeople to have access to all the leads in the system. You may only want them to see what's been assigned to them specifically to avoid things like poaching or what have you. That's all. Those are all capabilities in the system. Some of our customers actually have folks who are external to their organization, like manufacturers reps, who need access to the system from a lead perspective or a product perspective, and we can actually give them very limited access to CRM. They would still have a user ID and password, but then by logging in that way, they'd be restricted in what they could see. We can also audit access to the system to see when people are logging in and what they're doing down to the field level. So if it's important from a compliance perspective in your organization, we can actually know who's touching what record, what field, when, and what the old data was, what the new data was, and what have you. Any other questions? Certainly you can ask questions about Microsoft Dynamics CRM specifically. You can ask questions about SYNACT and how we do business, or the implementation process, ongoing support. Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining today. Hopefully you got a good taste of what we have to offer here with Microsoft Dynamics CRM. Certainly we're going to, as I mentioned, follow up with a link to the recording of today's session in case you'd like to share that with your colleagues or business partners. We are available and excited to talk to you. So if you have any additional questions, if you'd like to have a more personalized conversation or a demo, certainly get in touch with me. I'm just throwing my contact information up here on the screen now. Many of you have spoken with someone else in my organization, and you can, like Jason or Mary Beth, and you can certainly reach out to them as well. So if there are no further questions, have a great weekend, and we hope to hear from you soon.